Let us call upon heaven to take its rightful position this very evening. I am going to pray a prayer of David because we are nothing without Elohim Adonai El Shaddai that gave us this very mission. The hardest mission in the world is to set Biafra free. The hardest task on this earth, because most of them are born ingrates. Some of them fathered by Janjaweed during the war, or should I say their parents. Some of them engaged in inglorious pursuit of meaningless wealth. But our job is different. We have been sent by heaven to do that work that the Almighty Himself mandated us to do, which is to set His children free in the center of this very earth, in the blessed land of Biafra, the land of the ancients, the hardest job in the world. We must honor in heaven. Do you think we apologize to anybody? Without apologies to any idiot. I will keep doing what I'm doing until I am invited to The Hague. Then I'll ask the whole world where they were in 1966 as 300,000 Biafrans were slaughtered in the north. Where were you between 67 and 70 when over 5 million were slaughtered? Where were you when Akaloka was beheaded in the north? Where were you all the countless riots and massacres in the
globe? Let them understand the struggles and the efforts you guys are putting in to make sure we actualize this Biafra. And also, how do you carry them all along?
Synagogues destroyed.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can I talk now?
Yes, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much, moderator. The issue of Biafra and the issue of the video you saw on Nnamdi kanu's wall and the video of these children, innocent children dying in their millions, there is nothing anybody can do for that experience to just disappear from our minds. That was a genocide committed against Biafrans. That was a war crime committed against Biafrans. That was a crime against humanity committed against Biafrans. And like you know, nobody has been tried for war crime in Nigeria before. And that is because we all know when what gave birth to the ICC, the International Criminal Court, and all that, you know, when it was after all this atrocity happened, and of course they cannot go back and stand the crime that they committed in those days. Nigeria become a very peculiar case because of the reason that is best known to international community. Nobody want to investigate that case, and of course we try to forget the atrocity committed against Biafrans, and on daily basis since 1967, Nigeria government has continued to wage war against Biafrans. And there is something I would want to explain to Nigerians today, especially those who do not understand the rottenness in Nigeria's system. We cannot begin to discuss these issues without picking it from the fundamental, from the beginning, from the roots. And what do I mean by that? I will start by coming from the constitutional context. The constitutional contest means the fraud called the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Why we are doing this awareness is to make sure everybody is carried along. Why we are making this awareness is to make sure we try to enlighten people, especially those who have been deprived the opportunity to read and learn the history of Nigeria. Nigeria government dubiously, scandalously, and on purpose removed history in school curriculum in Nigeria, and for that singular reason, a lot of people are being misled into believing a lot of fallacies, into not even believing that Nigeria can disintegrate. So the reason we are coming online almost on daily basis is to try to orientate our people and try to carry them along, especially letting them know why they must reject Nigeria. I want to start making reference from the sections, from some of the sections of the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Today, when you look at the appointment of the so-called the presidency of Nigeria, when you look at what is going on in Nigeria today, especially in this pandemic, would you say that Nigeria have constitution? The answer is no. I will start from section 14 of the Nigeria Constitution 1999 Constitution as amended. Section 14 was designed to I have to read the Constitution so that I will not misquote the Constitution, so that I will not act and subtract anything from the Constitution. Now, section 14 of the 1999 Constitution as amended states, and I quote, the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on principle of democracy and social justice. 2 of that section 14. Sections 14, subsection 2 of that Constitution say, it is hereby accordingly declared that, hey, I am now reading section 14, subsection 2A of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. The sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria from one government. Through this Constitution, derive all its powers and authority. The B, subsection 2B of this Constitution states as follows. The welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of the government. And C, they have brought section once again, 14 subsection 2C of the same Constitution state as follows. Incumbent politicians to the participation by ensured in accordance with the provision of this Constitution. Now, let me take these sections that I have just presented to you bit by bit and explain to you how this Constitution has been infringed, how the Constitution has been breached by the people that are in power today, which are Fulanis who do not know anything about the wordings of this Constitution, of this fraud called Constitution. Now, in this section 14, subsection 1, it says, the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on principle of democracy and social justice. Would you look into what is going on in Nigeria today and you say that the government has not breached this section 14, subsection 1 of the Nigeria Constitution? They have breached this democratic principle of this Constitution. The number 2, this subsection 14, subsection 2 of this Constitution states, the A states that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria from whom government through its constitution derive its power and authority. The people of Imo State spoke through the said ballot paper. And at the end of the day, somebody who was fought in the election was declared fraudulently the winner. Please, I need time to explain this so that people will understand where we are coming from. Because as I'm speaking to you now, If you really want to understand the rottenness in Nigeria, we need to trust this section 14, because there are a lot of things that has happened in Nigeria today to show you that Nigeria constitution is not functional.
Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Understand that only
so should I go
what
on?
we are doing will you be set.
Yes, please go ahead.
As
please
said,
go ahead.
Okay, because I see the screen, so I thought my time is up. It is very, very important since we are here. Let us trash it.
Nobody can be a minority in his own home.
This B state as follows: the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of the government. Now, considering what is going on in this corona pandemic, I don't want to go far. I don't want to go to what has happened since 2015, but let me start from the recent. Considering what is going on in Nigeria today, would you say that this section 14 subsection 2B has not been breached by the federal government? They have breached it with impunity, because today there is no welfare of the people of Nigeria. It is being only ignored in the southern part of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the northern Nigeria are being fed fat with a good rice, with good provision. Meanwhile, in the southern Nigeria, they are being fed with rotten rice, with a rice that if you eat it, you will get cholera. That is a breach of the constitution as I'm reading it. And then the number 3 of this section 14 of the 1999 constitution states, and I say, and quote, the composition of the government of the federal, of the federation, or of social media, any of its agencies, and the conduct of its affairs shall be carried out in such a manner as to reflect the federal character of Nigeria and the need to promote national unity, and also to command national loyalty, thereby ensuring that there shall be no predominance of persons from a few states or from a few ethnic group, sectional group in the government or in any of its agencies. Today, as I'm talking to you, the presidency of Nigeria has appointed 100 appointments, all 99% of these appointments to Fulanis, in contravention of this section 14 subsection 3 of 1999 constitution as amended. As I'm talking to you today, the 3 arms of government are controlled by Fulanis. In infringement of this constitution, section 14 subsection 3 of 1999 constitution as amended. Now, the president is a Fulani, Senate president is a Fulani, the CGN is a Fulani, the chief judge of the federation is a Fulani, the attorney general of Nigeria is a Fulani, all the chief security agents in Nigeria, from DSS to EFCC to police to chief of army staff, all are Fulanis in breach of section 14 subsection 3 of this 1999 constitution as amended. So how can you continue to be part of a sectional government who claim to have a constitution, who claim to represent and have sworn an oath of allegiance to this said constitution, and they are breaching it with impunity? Nobody in Nigeria today that has not witnessed how the appointment of the presidency has been going on since 2015. Some people say it is lopsided. Some people say a section of the country has been sidelined and in contravention of this constitution. So we cannot continue to be part of a government that is being led by incompetent leader. And as you can see, like I'm saying, there is no way Nigeria can move forward when a constitution of the country is not being respected. I will stop here and we continue again.
Of course, I concede to Prophet Elijah Muhammad. They did a very good job as well. Louis Farrakhan, to an extent, did a very good job. So also did, what's his name again? I've forgotten his name. When it comes back to me, I will tell you. They all did fantastically well. That is why you can go to the US and find a very good job. When it comes to Africa, God Almighty in heaven, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, have chosen Biafra. So Biafra can never ever be against anybody. And let me tell you something. Once Biafra becomes free, everybody becomes free. Those harping on about one Nigeria, or should I say the unsustainability of one Nigeria, are those who are benefiting from it. They are your governors. Remember a few weeks ago I told you that anytime somebody assumes office in Nigeria, if you're telling them about what would benefit the society or our children unborn, they will tell you not under my watch. Go to what Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, said today. Go and read it. Exactly what I told you a few days ago. That is why the most dangerous person in front of you is a politician in Nigeria. Not the old woman in your village or the tree that is over 2,000 years old. No. The destiny destroyers you have, in fact, in the whole of Africa, are politicians. Because they are evil. They are doing the work of Satan. You may not believe me, but ask yourself this very simple question: which African country is doing very well? Just please explain to me. Is it South Africa? You want to say South Africa? Go there and see what is happening. Or what has been happening since the white people left leadership. Now is the time for us to be free. I want to reiterate under oath, because I am always under oath 24 hours a day. If the oil and gas from Biafra land is your problem, I swear before God Almighty in heaven, on my honor, my life, and that of my family, that I will distribute oil and gas from Biafra land for free to the entire West African sub-region. For free. Do you know why? So that their economies can grow as well. We need people to buy our goods and our services. Why do you think America gives grants to people all over the world? Why do you think the EU gives grants? Even China gives grants to everybody. Even Australia. Why? Because poor people cannot buy Range Rover. Do you understand it? They need to help you inadvertently to grow your economy so you can have the spending power to buy the goods and services that they produce. It is called common sense. It is not stupidity. I can assure each and every component ethnic group in Nigeria today, this evening, all those of you who are listening, all those of you who are watching and listening, that Biafra will not abandon anybody. We want all of you to be free. You all can remember very clearly what happened between 67 and 70, because every time we talk about our eternal leader, the great Dim Chukwemeka Ojukwu. Why I am doing this program this evening is not to allow what happened in the past to repeat itself. Ojukwu did not declare Biafra because he wanted to. Ojukwu went to Aburi to negotiate for, restructuring. And he succeeded in negotiating for a restructured Nigeria back to regions. Listen very carefully. On the ride from their hotel to the airport, I think it was Ankara who was the then military junta ruling Ghana. Ojukwu and Gowon were best of friends. Ojukwu said, when we go back to Lagos, I will be the person to nominate Yakubu Gowon as the head of state. I hope all of you are following what I'm saying. Ojukwu never declared Biafra. Britain scuttled it because Britain did not want any of you to become developed. They didn't want you to control your own economy. They never wanted you to have a life of your own. They wanted to, this big daddy mentality is us who made you, we created you. You are what you are today because of us. You are nobody. We made you. They love it. So every time we'll be crying, hey, Africa needs aid. Africa needs help. Give them grant. There is vaccine. Why don't you help them? There is polio. There is malaria. Let's help them. They look at us as imbeciles who cannot fend for themselves. They love it. You know that feeling you have, that rancadede feeling when beggars are coming to your house and begging you, you'll be feeling very proud and very big. That's the mentality they have. They knew that Ojukwu would have destroyed that. That was why they hated him. Ojukwu only declared Biafra because Gowon reneged on restructuring. Gowon said, no, we are not going to restructure. And Ojukwu said, this was not what we agreed in Aburi. Since you are now saying you are not going to restructure and Igbo people were being slaughtered in the north, there was never any glorious decade in the history of the zoo. Never. Ojukwu said, I will now create a safe haven for persecuted people in the northeasterners to come back home. And that time, everybody was in this agreement together. Efi, Kibibio, everybody was represented in Ojukwu's cabinet. The man that suggested that the name Biafra should be used was an Ijo man. An Ijo man. Ijo is on Chief Frank Opigo. An Ijo man. So when people talk about Biafra, Ojukwu's Biafra, they will never tell you he's Ijo Biafra. They will never tell you it was an Ijo man. Ijo. That said to Ojukwu, our original name is Biafra. And Ojukwu adopted it. Then the propaganda started flying. Sadly, from our Yoruba brethren. Then, very sadly, the lies began. The same lies that they were peddling that led them to label IPOB as a terrorist organization. But people occupying Yoruba forests, people raping and killing in Izombe, people raping and killing at Ozo1, people brazenly attempting to take over the whole of Benue State, they are not terrorists. I want people to, at least those that still have some measure of conscience, to understand what I'm saying. People who are raping and killing you, they are not terrorists. They are not proscribed Mietiala, no. They are normal. You negotiate with them. You talk to them. You parley with them. But IPOB that is championing the freedom of everybody in Nigeria, I said everybody. Sometimes people misunderstand what we are doing. Biafra is a vehicle with which we are going to liberate everybody, including ethnic minorities in Sokoto, in Katsina, in Bauchi. Only Biafra can save you. Why am I saying this? And I want you to listen very carefully, please, and note what I'm saying down. Fortunately, the people of the South are gifted with a sense of responsibility, and if things doesn't work out, rebellion. If we stay in one Nigeria, for instance, let's say we collapse IPOB and the Oduduwa movement were to stop. Do you think that any minority in the Fulani conquered North will be able to rise up to challenge them? If the answer is no, then other people who must do it, those who are able should do it. That is why IPOB, this Biafra movement, needs the support of everybody. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter if you're from Krenenborn. It doesn't. Once you are suffering within Nigeria, you need IPOB and you need Biafra. More than Biafra needs you. Because if we stop, let's say we collapse IPOB tonight and stop our agitation, how are you going to get electricity in your lifetime? How are you ever going to get good roads? How will you ever hold your corrupt and inept politicians responsible? And more importantly, how are you going to stop Fulanis from taking over your ancestral lands? How? Just tell me. A few days ago, I said something very, very poignant. I said, if you want to remain in one Nigeria, I'm not begrudging you, but look at Hausa people. That is going to be your fate. You are going to be a people devoid of honor and integrity. You will only exist as a people, even if at all they will allow you to exist. Now you understand it. That is why we are doing what we are doing. We must cut out all the distortions, all the falsehoods, all the outright lies against what IPOB stands for. Anybody against IPOB is working for the politician. They are paid errats. Owasiwanya is a very spent force, somebody who made his entire existence on sabotaging his people. We love our elders. We respect them. If not that I'm a very, very discernible and sensible man, I would have thought that perhaps that Paya Debanjo has turned around to abandon truth, which I know and respect him for. Do you know that Paya Debanjo said, I am at one with Kanu? Yoruba media said, I am at war with Kanu. After doing my presentation during the Never Again 51 years remembrance of those that the zoo slaughtered and massacred, over 5 million people. After I finished speaking, Paya Debanjo asked to come back into the program to speak. He was allowed. He said, I am at one with Kanu. Fulani is the problem of Nigeria. The media wrote that Paya Debanjo said, I am at war with Kanu. These are the people who have been lying to you, telling you that we hate you, IPOB is too parochial, we hate everybody. And I'm saying, if we hate everybody, why was it that when I was at DSS, those who used to wash my clothes were kids they picked up from Sokoto, from Zamfara, and tagged them Boko Haram sympathizers, locked them up for, some of them for nearly 4 years. They used to wash my clothes. They used to fetch water for me. Boko Haram people. We started talking. They were the ones telling me, they told me every history about Muhammad Yusuf. They found out Boko Haram that the zoo police killed. You know, sometimes, you know that Nigeria even accused me once of supporting Boko Haram. Because I came and I made it very public that Boko Haram is the way it is today because of the wickedness of Nigerians. An average Nigerian is a very wicked animal, a wicked beast. Why do I say this? When Muhammad Yusuf was agitating for referendum, some of you don't know this, the Boko Haram founder was agitating for referendum in the northeast. The Nigerian police killed him. That was why they turned violent. But when you discuss the history of Boko Haram, people will say that terrorists, they are this, that. But it was the Nigerian state that inflicted terrorism on these very poor people. That was why they took up arms. That is a fact. Castigate Boko Haram all you like. Cast aspersions all you like. Say whatever you want to say against them. It was your docility. You were there. Nigerian police went and killed a man that hasn't killed anybody. Today they're holding El Zagzagi. Holding him. Tomorrow now, when El Zagzagi dies in custody, and another front will be opened up with Shia Muslims in the north, all of you will start yapping as usual, terrorist group, terrorist. But now that El Zagzagi is suffering injustice, all of you are quiet. The only time I'm speaking the truth, you know me, I speak the truth always. I don't give a damn who is upset or who isn't. Have you noticed something? The same thing now that Yoruba media is saying that, of course, I love Sunday Igboho very well. He's doing a very fantastic job, and I will keep supporting him. Do you see the way the Yoruba media are reporting their own people? Do you see how they're writing about every second, every minute, every second, every minute? Because he is Yoruba. And the media in Nigeria is controlled by Yoruba people. And now I'm asking myself, what is the difference between what Sunday is fighting for, what Muhammad Yusuf was fighting for before they killed him, and what Nnamdi kanu is fighting for? No difference. Follow me very carefully, please. I'm not saying that I condone or tolerate the excesses of Boko Haram bombing and killing people. I completely reject and condemn it. But there is no difference. Yoruba will never promote anybody outside their tribe. They are journalists I'm talking about. Never. Because somehow they feel that the coming of Biafra will somehow disadvantage them. I don't know why. Or is it because somebody somewhere is desperately trying to become the president of the damnable Zoological Republic? I have no idea. But I want you to pay attention this evening. Ask yourself this question. What is it that Sunday Igboho is doing that is different from what IPOB is doing? What's the difference? They will tell, oh no, because he's not advocating for the breakup of the country. Because we see a million miles ahead than any other person. Why am I saying this? Do you know when Ojukwu saw that only restructuring could save Nigeria? Only restructuring. 52 years ago. 52 years ago. 52 years ago. I want the world to understand that this is a gift that God gave to Biafran people. The gift of vision, to be able to see things before they happen. And I am very glad to say, and with every sense of humility, I hasten to add, that I also possess the same gift as Elohim gave to our eternal leader. I have the same gift. I need you to understand this very, very carefully. I also have the same gift. And you ask yourself this very simple question. Why was it that something Ojukwu saw, not did he only say it, he negotiated for a restructured Nigeria what do I mean by 50? 54 years ago, 53, 54 years ago. Only now, they are now asking for the same thing. 54 years ago, they killed 5 million Biafrans because of it. The same thing they killed 5 million Biafrans because of, now they are begging to have it. And the thing is, why must all of us be begging Fulani for restructuring? Why must all of us be begging them for referendum? Why? Are they God? Are they holding the key to our lives? Why must we are begging? Every time we are begging them, oh, please, can you restructure? Oh, please, can you give us? Every time, please. Who are these people that we keep begging them? And I will tell you to go through your elected representatives. They tell you to go through your politicians. But one thing you don't understand is this. They are the ones that are allowed the INEC that they control to bring those people forward as your political leaders. So they control them. That is a fact. Now, if you want to remain in perpetual slavery and poverty, do not support IPOB and what we are doing. But if you want to, you see, sometimes people think that I'll give you a very simple example. China is blessed. They are doing well all over the world. Their economy is booming. I think now they're number one, I believe, in the whole world in terms of economy, and they're number two in terms of military might. That is their blessing. No one can take it away from them. Do you understand? No amount of jealousy can change it. If out of jealousy, or you believe that Biafra is going to be one very beautiful nation in Africa, and because of that, you are not going to support them, you are doing yourself a disfavor. Because there's a way we say it where we come from. If you're suffering, we are also suffering. Everybody's suffering. And let me ask you, which other people do you think will have the courage to do what Biafrans have been doing for the past, say, 54 years? Which other people in Nigeria, I'm asking you, can do it? And there is nothing envy or jealousy can do for you. You can be jealous from now till the kingdom come. It cannot remove God's blessing and grace upon a people. Why is it that Angela Merkel, as advanced as Germany is, will say that USA is the leader of the free world? You know all the problems that they had during the Trump era with NATO funding and all the rest of it, World Trade Organization, World Health Organization, and the rest of it. If you ask Angela Merkel, leading a very proud Germany, she will tell you, we look up to America as the leader of the free world. Is it going to stop Germany from doing very well by acknowledging the preeminence of the United States of America? No. If you ask Boris Johnson now, he will tell you the most important thing for us is to make sure that America comes back to lead the free world. It doesn't matter if you're hung up on your jealousy or your envy. It's not going to change God's blessing. The same thing applies to Biafra and IPOB. And to the Igbo race to an extent. The same thing happened to the Jews. Jealousy, envy, jealousy, envy, jealousy, envy all over the world. They were slaughtered over and over again. They were killed. It never ever removed the grace of God from upon them. Today, Israel is standing very, very strong. Why am I saying all these things to Nigerian youths? It's for them to understand this very simple fact that we have not come to take anything that belongs to anybody. We have come to set all of you free. And I will reiterate, once we are all free, if all of you gather together, first of all, you need freedom. You know, what I find astonishing about the likes of people who should know better, like Wole Soyinka, that were advocating for sovereign national conference until Obasanjo came, a Yoruba man became the president, and they forgot about it. Had they stood on that, if after this liberation of everybody in Nigeria, all of you were to come together to say, we still want to remain in Nigeria, after a referendum, I am a Democrat. Should Biafrans vote to be part of Nigeria? That's entirely up to them. And I will abide by it because the majority will always carry the vote. And for some of you who are afraid, they will dominate us. Hey, Biafrans everywhere. Igbo people, they have shop in Lagos. They have in Ibadan. They are doing well in Kanu. They are doing very well in Meduguri. They are doing very well in Yola. They are doing very well in Kafanchan. It's because you don't know anything. Do you know that in the mindset is in our DNA to be free? As a free people, we are the only people. These people you claim are going to do. I am from a place called Isiama Faruku Ibeku. Faruku used to be one autonomous community before, but now we are three. Maybe we are going to become four. Who knows? We are the only people that answer to autonomous community. Do you know why? Because we love freedom. We don't want anybody to lord it over us. And for people who wrongly claim that was the propaganda of the Janjaweed, the Miyet Yala Caliphate, Fulani Caliphate over the years, don't join Biafra. Don't join the Igbo people. They will dominate you. They will dominate you. And I want to draw a very simple analogy with what is happening today. Look at Miyet Yala. Look at IPOB, for instance. Who are the ones killing you and dominating you? Miyet Yala. Who are the ones shouting, don't join IPOB, don't support them, the same Miyet Yala dominating you? That was what they did before, during, and after the war. They poisoned the minds of our people. Britain started it. and go on, finish it off. How did they manage to do it? By repeating the same garbage over and over and over and over again until you believe it. Now, I want to put an end to that lie to tell Middle Belt why they must produce a leader, why they must come with us. To let my Yoruba brothers and sisters understand why they must come with us. Because together we can liberate ourselves. Then, once we liberate ourselves, to your tent, O Israel. But if during the process of this liberation that is bound to happen this very year by the grace of the Most High, what we intend to do, what we must do is that at the end of this revolution, there is going to be a referendum. And that referendum, there are going to be only 2 questions on the ballot paper. Do you want to continue as, no, 3 questions actually. Do you want to go your separate ways and become different republics or entities or nations? Do you want to have a confederation? Or do you want a federation? As a referendum question. That's all. If it comes back that Biafrans, after this new order has been established, they vote for a continuation of one Nigeria, who am I to say no? I'm a Democrat. I can never say no. Understand this very clearly. We are going to go into a revolution this year. Something more compelling and devastating than end SARS. We must do it together, spontaneously at the same time. As I told you, we outnumber them. Their soldiers cannot fight. Because a soldier doesn't know if he's firing into a crowd of his own relatives. He doesn't know. It's like throwing a stone into the market. You don't know if that stone is going to strike one of your relatives. But we know they will bring Fulani terrorists from the Sahel, give them Nigerian army uniform to come and fight us. That's what they're going to do, as they're doing in Okigwe right now. Now listen very carefully when they do that. We outnumber them. Fulani is a minority. They're not up to 4% of the population of the zoo called Nigeria. They cannot intimidate all of us. They can intimidate you, that is your business, but they cannot intimidate us. Not Nnamdi kanu, this IPOB. Never. Do you know why? Because over the years we allowed them, we gave them leeway. There was no problem. Only Fulani is at war with every ethnic minority, or should I say every ethnic group in Nigeria. Only them. Ask yourself why. We have gone beyond stupid analysis. Every day we analyze. Every day we keep analyzing the news. This happened. That happened. Oh, they have killed somebody here. There. I said to you, now is the time for us to band together. The promise I'm making all Nigerian youths this very night, because it's night time in Nigeria, is this. After we must have succeeded liberating each and every one of us, there is going to be a referendum. In that referendum, there will be 3 questions. Do you want Nigeria to continue as a federation, the way it's presently structured? Do you want confederation, which is regional government? Or do you want everybody to go to their tent, O Israel? I know what the problem is. People will say, when I was in detention at DSS, one of the officers that usually take me to court, one very fine, handsome man, he's from Borno State. He said to me, do you know I am a Christian and I am indigenous to Borno? I didn't come from anywhere else. My ancestors, our village, we have been there for millennia. Do you know that? I said, no, I don't know. He said, the mistake people make is that lumping everybody from the north together. They are either Hausa or they are Fulani. That I'm mistaken. This is a DSS officer trying to lecture me. I said, okay, I understand. And he said to me, when he was bringing me back from the court, he said to me, our problem is not with Biafra, not with you, but if you go, what is going to be our fate? The only reason why we have not been slaughtered or forcibly converted to Islam is the presence of Igbo people everywhere in Nigeria. A DSS officer confessed to me that it is better for them that we are all suffering in one Nigeria than to allow the East to break away. Because if you go, there will be no buffer anymore. There will be nobody to protect us. We are finished. DSS officer confessed to me. So this evening, and over the years, I've been thinking, you know, I came out of that their mess for very many years. They came to my house to kill me. To tell you how, you see, when I say that a black man is evil, people don't quite understand what I'm saying. I want to digress just for a few seconds. When I left DSS, I went to Kuje prison and I was granted bail because, you know, in Nigeria, they can never ask you to go. They will always grant bail because they want to make money from you. And I went home. They said, you don't speak to the press. You shouldn't attend any rallies. I told them to go to hell. I broke all their conditions. And I was there, ready to take 2 million men to Abuja. They came to my house to kill me. Now, let me tell you why Nigerian journalists are also part of your problem. Because they never, ever educate you. They always lie to you. I was in my house. The army came, the army of Nigeria sent Nwodo, Ibazu, Ekwemado, and who else invited? And Umahi invited the army to kill me. Do you know the reason why? Because I refused to call off the governorship elections boycott in Anambra State in 2017. I told them I won't call it off. They sent the army to come and kill me. Punch newspaper editor, the owner of Channels Television, every major newspaper, Vanguard, everybody knew that I was in my house preparing to go back to court, and they came to kill me. In the process, they killed 28 of my men. As a result of the trauma suffered, my parents died. Next month, a few weeks' time, will be the anniversary of their burial, because they were buried on the 14th of February of last year. My mother and my father died as a direct result of the trauma that they sustained resulting from that very attack. Do you know what happened? Nigerian newspapers, they have seen the video. They saw the army scaling the walls of my house to come to kill me. They went to court. Buratai gave editors of Nigerian newspapers money, Yoruba editors mostly, to say that I jumped bail. Do you know, that very day I realized that there is a level of wickedness in the soul of a black man, that is why black people are poor all over the world. I never knew. That day it occurred to me that black people are patently evil. I was in my house, sleeping in the afternoon, having siesta, and the army came to kill me in my house. By the grace of God, I survived it. Somebody, a human being that went to school with conscience, had the temerity to say that I jumped bail, that I am a fugitive when they came to kill me, which means that those Yoruba newspaper editors wanted me dead. Do you see how black people reason? Do you see how they think? Now, as I was saying, these people, do not allow them to deceive you. IPOB is fighting for your liberation, for your freedom. And I want that very video to be posted, please, when I was in court, arranging bail for Kanuri people, for Fulani people, for Hausa people, for Nupe people. And if you have the time, go to Kuje prison and ask any long-term serving inmates in the prison. The greatest loss they have endured was when I left Kuje prison. I was the one who arranged for lawyers for Shia Muslims inside Kuje prison. I was the one that arranged for lawyers for Hausa people, Fulani people inside Kuje prison. Go and ask anybody. If I hate other parts of Nigeria, or if what we are doing is born out of hatred, why would I spend IPOB money when I was in prison trying to free people from other ethnic groups? Why would I do that? What benefit do I have to derive from it? That is to prove to you that what we are doing is to try to free everybody, because if Biafra is free and other people are not free, we don't have freedom. We want other people to be free. So then when Biafra is doing very well, other nations around us will also be doing very well. There is something called economies of scale. That is why I believe that anybody who is a student of economics, you can never be jealous or envious in your life. In fact, if you attended Government College Oman as I did and studied factors of production at Form 3 or Class 3, you can never be jealous in your life. Have you seen any Omahian being jealous before? So the people that went to all these mushroom comprehensive schools in the bush, they don't know anything. Have you seen anybody who attended maybe King's College Lagos or DMGS Onitsha or where's this one again? CKC Onitsha for that matter, or Nike Grammar School or Methodist College Uzakole, or maybe Hope Warden Institute in Calabar or Stella Maris in Iguacha, or maybe Africa Grammar School in those days. Do you think they have time for jealousy? Because at class 3 they teach you something in economics, factors of production. And after that, they say that for you to do very well, all companies or factories producing the same item, if you are sited in the same place, that's why you have industrial parks. There is something called economies of scale. Although you're doing your own business, making your own money, but the fact that you are all together doing very well, there are spin-offs, there are some things you gain from one another. Maybe not directly. It's called economies of scale. That is why, after the Second World War, America poured so much money into Germany that they were fighting. They fought Germany. The war ended like today. From tomorrow, they enacted what was called the Marshall Plan and gave so much money to Germany to rebuild the German economy. Do you know why? Because they know that Germans, they have scientists, they are hardworking people. It is in the interest of America that Europe is doing very well. It's only in Africa that when you see somebody doing well, you want them to die. Because you're black, you're primitive, you're evil. Let me tell you why it is good for other people's children to do even better than your own children. Because you don't know the disease or illness that may afflict you tomorrow. You don't know if there is any medicine available to cure that very illness. And you know the funniest thing, you don't know if this your neighbor that you're hating on, or this Biafran, or this IPOB member that you hate, you don't know if it is the child that will find or invent the medicine that will cure you. I've preached this thing before on Radio Biafra. That is why abroad, when you don't send your children to school, your neighbor will call the police. I told you this before. And one day, I was living at a place called St. Philip's Road in East London, in Hackney. And I asked the woman, why did you call the police? Is it your business? The woman said, I have arthritis. There is no cure for arthritis. We only manage the pain. I don't know if this little boy that this woman is denying access to good education is the one who is going to invent the medicine to cure arthritis. Shamefully, I went back upstairs. It reminded me of what I read in school, economies of scale. If Biafra is free, all of you will be free. If all of us are free, then we enjoy the genuine benefits of freedom and democracy. That is not obtainable in the zoo called Nigeria. And that is why you must reject this Luciferian, concocted zoological Republic of Nigeria. And now I want you to understand this. I had wanted to build a very small context, a sort of background, so you understand why I call Nigeria a zoo. Some of you get upset. I'm addressing Nigerians now. Some of you get very angry. He's calling us zoo, that we are animals. That is why we don't want to be associated with IPOB. You don't want to support IPOB. Do you know why I say so all the time? Don't be angry. Listen to me this evening. When I finish, you will tell me that I'm right. I'm not calling you an animal in a zoo because you're an animal. No. I'm trying to wake up your consciousness. I want you to become angry in a very good way, to look at yourself and say, how do I change this my nature? It is a very, very constructive criticism. Do you know one very funny? I want you to go, after tonight's lecture, I want you to go to the nearest hospital. Go to the A&E. You will see people with all manner of health challenges. Maybe somebody involved in a motor accident, or maybe somebody who have suffered heart failure. I want you to go to the IC unit. Of course, you don't have it in the zoo. Intensive care unit.